Hi, I'm Jolleen M here reporting for Kids First. I'm here at the event for the film I Can Only Imagine. I'm going to interview some of the people who are a part of this inspirational film. Let's go! I'm here with the Erwin brothers, John and Andy, who are the directors of the film. Okay, so when did you realize that you wanted to make a film on Bart Millard's story?
You know, with Bart's story, it was one that kind of found us. I became friends with Bart just by chance. We became friends on Facebook and invited him to see one of our other movies, and we started talking afterwards. And he said that some people had been developing his life story as a movie and wanted to see if we were interested in directing it. And those people had contacted us that morning and said, "Do you guys want to do this?" And we just fell in love with the story. We loved the song beforehand, but we didn't know the tremendous father-son story behind the song. And so once we found out the rest of Bart's story, we kept kind of pinching ourselves that we got to tell it. And it's an amazing, amazing story.
And my last question is, what's like the message of the film? What do you want people to take away from the movie aside from like hope? Is there anything else?
You know, I think it's about a father and son relationship that you know, by all intents and purposes, was broken beyond repair. That nobody would think that there would be any hope for that relationship to be restored. Bart had to go through abuse and a lot of different things like that, and he didn't know how to deal with it. But as God began to work in his father's heart, Bart said that he saw his dad change from a monster to his best friend, the man he always hoped he'd be. And before his dad passed away, that relationship was restored. And so I think the message of the film is no relationship is beyond repair and no individual is beyond forgiveness. And there's always a chance for redemption and to any person that sees the film. And so the story tells that loud and clear, and we really hope that the audiences that enjoy this entertaining story really engage with that.
Hi, I'm here with Dennis Quaid, who plays Arthur, or Bart Millard's father. It's a pleasure to talk with you today.
You too.
So my first question is, can you please tell us a little bit about your character, Arthur?
Arthur plays the father of Bart Millard, who wrote the song I Can Only Imagine. And he wrote it about his father after he died. And it was a big hit song. And but I had never heard the song myself when I got the script and I read the story, and I was very profoundly touched by the story, because Arthur at the beginning was not a good person really in his heart, and he was a very abusive kind of a parent, and for one reason or another, either because parents sometimes who are abusers of children, they were abused as kids themselves by someone or something. But anyway, that's no excuse for being the way he was, but he was trapped there, and he made his son not feel good about himself by that. You know, he was not nice to him every day of his life, and didn't, never encouraged him in his dreams. Well, to the point where his son moved out earlier than he would have, in his teens. He was living on his own. Well, his father got, the character that I play, he got cancer, and it was terminal cancer that he wasn't going to live. So he knew he wasn't going to live much longer, and just knowing that forced him to look at his life and who he was. And he had a spiritual awakening.
So, what was it like working on this film with the actors and the directors and the crew?
They were amazing. The directors, John and Andy, they put this all together, and the directors are really the storytellers in film. You know, even if somebody else wrote the script, it's the director is still really the storyteller. And we started off with a good story and a good script, but then when you come to doing it and playing it, and J. Michael, who played Bart, we were all in there every day, and we'd have to make something out of nothing, right? And I just wanted to get the truth. And the real Bart Millard was on the set every day, too. And I figured if it was very brave of him even to tell the story, to allow the story to be told. And we just wanted to get it right for him.
And what's your most memorable moment in filming this?
It's all a blur to me right now. I just hanging out with Bart and being around Bart on the set. It was a very special experience. You know, he was there watching his own life, a past life, unfold on film. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
It's hard.
I would think it would be. It'd be hard for me, especially that. It's very, very tough issues. And, you know, I think it also was part of his healing.
Hi, I'm here with Madeline Carroll. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm really good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, can you tell us a bit about Sharon, your character?
Yes, I play Shannon Millard in the new film I Can Only Imagine, and she's just a light. She's just a light and a rock, and is very consistent, peaceful, strong woman, and it was really fun to play that because I haven't seen someone like that in a long time in scripts, and so I was so excited to get the chance to be her. And it was very weird because she's a real life person, so it was weird for me to play someone who was real life. It was very different. I've never had to do that before, so I did a little bit of preparation, and I'm actually going to meet her for the first time tomorrow, so I'm really excited.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited, but nervous too though, because I don't know how she's going to like it, but we'll see.
I'm sure she'll like you.
Thank you.
So, is there anything that you've learned from this film?
Yes, I think one of the most important messages of the movie is hoping again, and no matter what, whether we've lost a dream or we've had an abusive parent, whatever walk of life we've come from, you can hope again and continue to, you know, dust off your knees and pick yourself up and do something great with it, do something great with your brokenness, do something great with your heartbreak. And that's what he did. He wrote this song, he wrote out his heart and what he was feeling, and he's impacted millions of people.
And how do you relate to your character?
I relate to Shannon because, well, I've always had a very close relationship with the Lord, and so does she. And I don't know, she has a lot more patience for boys than I do. She's very patient. So I didn't relate with her in that aspect, but she is full of peace, and more so than relate to her, I think I strive after her qualities more than anything. I definitely have not achieved them, but I would love to be, you know, someone who's as consistent as she is in people's life. And I also think it's cool that she kind of was like a catapult for him. She was the first person to give him an Amy Grant CD, and that's what he hung on to for so long through, you know, his parents' marriage falling apart and everything. And so I would love to be someone who champions people like that and catapults people into what they're meant to do.
Very nice. So, what do you think the message of this film is?
There's so many messages in this movie. One of them is hope. One of them is forgiveness. Forgiving, you know, this monster of a father that he had, and forgiving God for taking away his father that, you know, he ended up getting to have a relationship with, but only in his last small bit of life that he had left. And one of the things that really stuck out to me, too, one of my favorite themes of the film, is being able to give someone else your blessing. And I really love the part where Amy Grant kind of, you know, recognizes that I Can Only Imagine was going to be a really, really big song. She really needed that hit song, and she was able to give it back to him because she knew that it was his story and his moment. And I think that's a really hard lesson for a lot of us. I know it's hard for me, to be able to stand back and, let someone take the blessing that you think you deserve. And that really spoke to me. I loved that. And I think that it's a very, unspoken theme of the movie, but one of the most beautiful and hard lessons.
So, my last question is, what have you learned throughout your acting career?
Oh boy. I've been doing it since I was 3.5, so I've had a lot of lessons. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of well-known actors, and I've noticed that the best actors I've worked with have always been the kindest and stayed the kindest, and I think that adds to, their longevity of their career. And I've learned, always stay true to yourself. This industry will literally eat you alive and spit you back out, and just staying true to my values and what I value most. And a few years back, I got beautiful advice from Kerry Washington, and she said to me that no matter what, don't live your life to seek approval from other people. And at the end of the day, it's your choices and it's your career. So don't let other people bully you into doing things you don't want to do. And she told me that no matter what, that God is your casting director, and God is your director, and God is your producer. And when you stand up for him, he will stand up for you. And I've tried living my life that way, especially ever since hearing her. I mean, she's an unbelievable actress, and seeing all that, she's achieved in her young life. And so I think that's been the most important lesson for me, is just really stick to who I am, no matter what, the majority is doing. It's okay to not be the majority. It's okay to have a different voice, even when people don't agree with it.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.